In the woods of Limgrave, we see Atlas hunting one morning. He's out all by himself as he manages to kill a deer. While on his way back to the cave where he spent the night with Roderika, he stumbles upon another nest of rune bears. They're far away enough so that they can't see him. Atlas, however, observes from a distance, watching them eat, drink, sleep, play around with each other. In its own way, it's a pretty beautiful sight to see, even though those beasts are very dangerous and tried to kill him a few days earlier. Atlas does smile, as he can see they're just animals. They live their own life, and that doesn't make them evil. Soon, Atlas joins Roderika as she is practicing her spirit spells. Her spiritual jellyfish is slightly growing in size, indicating that Roderika is getting better at using more strength to summon them. It's a wholesome moment as Atlas is very encouraging. He believes she will be a great warrior one day if she continues to put that much strength and effort into her skills. Roderika is insecure, however. She may have the strength one day, but she just knows that she lacks the bravery. She fully believes she is of no use on a battlefield, or during any sort of fight. Even though Atlas does try to act like a kind companion, Roderika doesn't believe his words. When her people were attacked by that creature Margit, she just ran away and hid. That's not courage, that's just cowardness. Atlas believes that may not have been very brave, but it was most definitely smart. Those two things aren't the same, and that's okay. Around noon, the two venture out of the cave and into the wilderness. Atlas keeps on trying to find tracks of Finnick, but he has completely vanished and disappeared, it seems. It takes a while as they travel past some beautiful scenery of grass fields, old ruins, waterfalls, but Finnick is simply nowhere to be found. Atlas gets very demotivated by the end of the day. Roderika does try to cheer him up. By what she has heard him say about Finnick, it sounds like he's a good soldier and a very strong fighter. He'll still live, she's sure of it. Atlas appreciates her kind words, but both of them know all too well the dangers these lands hold. So, near dusk, we are back at Very at his shack. He's preparing some sort of soup while he's citing an ancient poem to himself. And it's then that he sees Atlas returning from the woods, accompanied by Roderika. And upon seeing her, Very is very apprehensive. He asks who she is, where she came from. Atlas speaks the truth. They stumbled upon each other, both looking for the same thing. Finnick remains untraceable though. Very isn't showing the hospitality that we're used of him. While he seems to believe Atlas, he keeps on staring at Roderika, and the slight blue glow from her hands indicating she isn't just a tarnished. Very takes Atlas inside, but Roderika has to wait. Inside, Very has this whole monologue with Atlas about the fact that I keep on neglecting his advice, his words. These people in the woods, the wolf cries, the seemingly innocent maidens, they are death. They're untrustworthy, they act fragile and hopeless, but that's how they get you. They must focus their strength and purpose on what's important. Atlas starts off kind, however, but as Very keeps on talking, we slowly start to see a defiant side of him. He can feel Roderika as just a lost soul, just like Finnick, just like himself. Very may have great knowledge of these lands, but that doesn't mean they can't help each other. Why is he vile and hostile towards the outside world? He helped them, didn't he? Very claims they were different. Tarnished are always different and filled with potential. Atlas points it out. Very keeps talking in riddles yet again. Maybe he should just state his business and his plans, and then they'll finally understand his worries. Very stays silent. He can't speak up. He simply can't. Not before he is 100% certain. And Atlas just shakes his head. That's the exact reason why they will probably never understand each other. Atlas will stay with Roderika. That's for certain. Very claims he doesn't know her. She may be a spy of Stormvale, She can be anyone. Atlas doesn't want to hear it. He wants to see the good in people, and not the evil that may not even be there at all. And on that note, Atlas heads outside and tells Roderika they're going somewhere else. Ferry keeps on staring at them as they head away. We see disappointment in his eyes. A lot of it. While wandering through the dark woods, Roderika starts to worry. She knows they shouldn't be out in the open like this at night. Atlas knows this too. They'll find a cave or somewhere else soon enough. And as they walk, however, they soon hear sounds that generally spooks them. Sounds of creatures far away, or right above them suddenly. Roderika tells Atlas to get down. And as they both hide in some tall grass, they look up and see several dark silhouettes flying over them in the night sky. They didn't see them. Further down, they reach another open field with multiple ruins, and they get a proper look at what just passed them. Bats. Giant bats. The creatures fight over some bones and raw meat, it seems, and other than the bears, these things look hideous. Roderika is clearly afraid, but Atlas ensures her to just stay calm and keep their distance. They'll be fine. At the round table hold, Roger is walking around while reading a book. He passes by several tarnished as they all hang around and talk, showing how this is truly a brotherhood, even though there are some minor rivalries here and there. Eventually, Roger passes by Hugh, and the two talk about the upcoming assault on Stormvale Castle, both being skeptical about it. Hugh is pretty neutral, as he believes it's a fool's job. No attack in 100 years has been successful on that fortress. Won't be new now. Roger isn't so sure about that. Their numbers have grown and so has their knowledge. And that's when Hugh brings up Finnick, claiming he has spending lots of time in the training room by himself, sparring against the dummies. And that's where Roger soon also finds the man. Finnick is clearly troubled, being beaten down hard by his defeat from the trials. Roger, however, just watches him slash and hack at several training dummies. It goes on for a while, until Finnick notices Roger standing there and tells him to leave him alone. Roger simply chuckles, finding it quite fascinating how sensitive he is. And that almost angers Finnick. He had it. He had it right in his hands. Had he not trusted that bitch of a barbarian, and he would have been able to fight on the vanguard when attacking Stormvale and kill Margit himself. He goes on a whole rant about whilst continuing to slash at the dummies, and Roger just listens, but soon can't help but to chuckle again. Finnick now actually gets angry. Does he really think it's funny to laugh at his misfortune? Roger shakes his head. No. He finds it funny how small of a child Finnick can be when being dealt a good hand. Finnick doesn't believe that. Good? How can this be good? Roger gets serious now. Finnick was second in the trials of the All-Knowing. Second! He was only here for a day. Others were here for weeks and didn't stand a chance. The fact he was able to make it so far with so little knowledge of this world is nothing short of a blessing. Grace is guiding him with a fortunate future, it has to be. Finnick doesn't fully believe that. A good fortune would be him standing beside the great warriors of this place. Roger now smiles. It's just a sign that Finnick still has to learn, and that's not a bad thing. Yes, he isn't ready to take on great foes, but that's the same fate as all of them. Does he really think Gideon Ofnir is all-powerful? If that would be so, he would have marched on the capital by himself ages ago. No, he also knows he can't do this alone, and neither does Finnick. Train, learn, grow, together, and without the attitude of a spoiled child. This lesson silences Finnick a bit. It seems like he sees what Roger means. Roger does smile, not being angry or anything, but he claims he has an idea. And after this, Roger visits Gideon at his study, asking permission to head out into the wilderness with Finnick, and Gideon approves of this. This leads to Roger taking Finnick along with him. They head to the large entrance door of the Round Table Hold as Roger claims he's going to show him something. Whilst walking, they pass on the Feli Lou, the barbarian who beat Finnick. She wants to approach Finnick, but he just ignores her. The two men walk straight towards the door, even though Roger doesn't notice Finnick's attitude. They walk through the main door and are soon transported to somewhere in Limgrave. They stand amidst the ruins of an old temple, it seems. Roger tells Finnick that he has already grown stronger. He just doesn't know it yet. His maiden follows him everywhere, turning the ruins of defeated foes into strength for him. Roger says how he has been living in these lands for several years now, and his maiden, called Beatrix, has been by his side for a long time. No one can see her but him, just as Finnick is also the only one to be able to see his. Finnick understands. He looks beside him and sees Melina standing there. She indeed confirms this. Maidens are personal guides. No one else can see or detect them. Finnick nods. But what are they doing here though? Roger smiles and tells him to take a walk with him. They'll see what they will encounter. Further away, Roderika and Atlas wake up after spending another night in a cave. They're cold and getting weary, having no idea where to go. Atlas heads to a river to wash himself, which is when he suddenly sees a spiritual appearance. It's another maiden, watching over him. He gets spooked. The two stare at each other for a long time, but then she disappears the moment Roderika joins him. Atlas is very confused, asking Roderika if she saw that woman as well, but she has no clue what he's talking about. Atlas simply shakes it off. The two soon continue their journey. Elsewhere, Finnick and Roger are on a hilltop as Roger shows him some magical spells that he likes to use. He has learned it all mostly by himself and from other wizards at the Round Table. It's not the purest magic, but it's good, and he's learning every day. Finnick is intrigued. Can anyone learn magic? Roger nods. Anyone can if they're willing to open their mind to it, but it's an absolute power, easy to corrupt weaklings. So with it comes a great deal of responsibility. Roger acts like a true mentor figure now, motivating Finnick into learning and training instead of sulking every time he loses a fight. He won't come far if he pursues that attitude. He knows he's far better than that. Finnick stays skeptical, which is when they notice one of the large tree sentinels in the open field in the distance. They look at it. Finnick shivers. That thing almost killed him and his friends on multiple occasions. Roger chuckles. You know, a tree sentinel is rather weak when he thinks of it. That startles Finnick. Weak? That? Roger insists on it. Tree sentinels are huge and brutes, sure, but they're not agile. The trick is to stay close and to the side, duck downwards whenever they sling their lances around. Finnick doesn't believe that, and the two men have a whole argument about it, jokingly, of course. Meanwhile, we see the tree sentinel just patrolling in the distance, and the familiar faces of Atlas and Roderika appearing out of the woods, heading straight in its direction. Roderika is very tired, believing she can't see how they're ever going to end up somewhere better. They're just refugees now. There's no one out there to help them. Roderika is very desperate, but Atlas keeps on motivating her. Don't give up. They're close to somewhere safe, he just knows it. And that's when the tree sentinel spots them. The giant horse growls, and without a warning at all, the massive brute comes charging at the two. Roderika screams as Atlas is horrified, and the two start to run back towards the trees as fast as they can, but they have no chance of making it. Atlas urges Roderika to run. Run! Run as fast as you can! Don't look back! And that's when he stops, seeing how they'll never make it in time. Atlas just turns around, feeling like he's going to faint. But still, There's courage in him, wanting to give Roderika a chance. He takes out his sword and yells at the sentinel. He doesn't care. He's had enough of this. Leave them alone! Why can't they all just leave them alone? The moment the sentinel is right at Atlas, and the young barbarian slashes in the air, knowing there is only death for him, a blue flash is seen, and a large blue spiritual arrow comes out of nowhere and knocks the sentinel down. Atlas gasps. He survived! But how? And that's when he sees it. In the distance. Finnick and the wizard. Atlas can't believe his eyes. And he starts to wave and jump around. Finnick! It's Finnick! They found him! Roger summons another spell as he asks Finnick who those people are. Finnick smiles, being extremely relieved to see Atlas unharmed. That's his friend. Roger nods. Well, go save him then. He'll take care of that golden bastard. Now we get a standoff as the tree sentinel recovers and looks at Roger. The wizard simply stands still, holding his hands ready, like a standoff. Come on then, you big ugly brute. Show him what he's got. And the sentinel roars and comes charging at Roger, all the while Finnick reaches Atlas, and the two, right in the middle of the field, embrace, being so happy to see each other again. At last. In the background, we see Roger launching himself in the air and unleashing a swarm of spiritual spells on the sentinel. A large brute and his horse get bombarded by attacks, knocking the brute off his horse. Roger shows no mercy, however. He runs around, summoning spell after spell, attack after attack. It's very impressive to see. Atlas gasps. Who is that? Finnick chuckles. He has a lot to tell him. That moment, however, Roger slams the sentinel down with an attack and believes to have won. The large brute gets back up and suddenly slams Roger to the side. And that takes everyone by surprise. Finnick yells, he won't have that happen again. And without a moment's thinking, Finnick just takes out his sword and starts running at the sentinel. Atlas, having no idea what's happening, instantly follows him. And the two men try everything they can to get the sentinel's attention, but the big brute just walks up to Roger. The wizard chuckles, claiming he really didn't see that one coming. But the moment the brute wants to attack, suddenly a large spiritual jellyfish appears and starts to attack the sentinel. Everyone is confused, except Atlas. He smiles and looks behind him. It's Roderika, summoning it from a distance. She yells at them to be quick! She can't have a distracted brute for long! Just like that, Atlas and Finnick start to slash at the sentinel. The jellyfish is attacking it as well, and as a perfect machine, Roger gets back up and unleashes spell after spell. In a very satisfying moment, the tree sentinel is completely surrounded and swings around violently. Atlas and Finnick are forced to take cover, but that's when Roger launches a spiritual spear directly at the sentinel and impales it right through its torso. The big brute collapses on the spot. Roderika jumps high in the air in the background, also glad to see her jellyfish is okay. And as Roger is breathing loudly, the tree sentinel slowly fully collapses. But the final moment is that of Finnick and Atlas, both standing on top of the sentinel, cursing it loudly, and then starting to stab it with their swords. They slash at it endlessly, letting out all their anger, all their frustrations. They slash and stab so long that the sentinel is soon nothing but a heap of armor and mush. Finnick roars loudly, while Atlas just yells and curses, "Die! Die! Die!" Soon, the sentinel fades away into ruins, as we see its spirit leaving into the air. Finnick looks around and sees Melina standing there, able to retrieve some of the runes and give it back to Finnick, giving him strength. She smiles proudly. Finnick smiles back. He then looks at Roger, who's also smiling. just as he said, stronger every day.